Hi, everybody. Welcome to Discover College Soccer. Today, I'm lucky enough to be joined by Coach Rudy from Central Penn. Welcome, Coach.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate the opportunity to be on with you.
Yeah, excited to have you. We're talking here end of January. There's a massive winter storm coming your way that I don't envy you because I'm down in here in Florida and the worst thing is, we'll get into the 30s, which us Floridians hate, but you'll be shoveling yourself out here in a week or so. So good luck with that.
Appreciate it.
Um, I mean, but hey, because it's January, you know, where does that put you in terms of your recruiting for the class of 26? You still looking for players? Is it wrapped up? Kind of, where's that stand for you at this point in the year?
We're still looking at uncommitted 2026s. We've got five committed at this point, and looking to bring in some additional players to our team. We also have 27s, 28s, and even a couple 29s on the radar.
Okay. Is there a date that you're hoping to have it locked up, or is that one of those things where you're just open until kickoff? You know?
One of the things that's a little different about our school is we have four terms per year. So to play soccer, you actually have to start in the July term, the summer term.
Hmm.
So, we really, go right up to, that point. I mean, we can't officially start till like middle of August. But also like we have some, recruits, when they think, oh, a fall term, their typical college, they're going to start in the fall term. Well, that's our fall term starts like the second week of August. So, I mean, second week of October. So
Oh,
a lot
okay.
of the season is over. So, there's a mechanism through USCAA for them to be able to pay if they pay their tuition up front, and even though they're not starting, like their major may not start till the fall term. So, but basically I tell recruits, be prepared to, start in the summer term.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Well, you mentioned you guys are USCAA. So that's the small college, I believe, is the SC there, or not. It's not, but it might as well be, right?
Yeah,
Um,
we are a small college in
yeah.
central Pennsylvania.
Yeah, you guys are right there, kind of Harrisburg, Hershey area, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's a nice, I mean, nice, beautiful area.
Yeah, we actually play on City Island where the former City Islanders pro team
Yeah.
plays. That's our match pitch.
Oh, wow.
And then we have a locker room in F&B Stadium, which is the uh, Washington Nationals minor league team, the Harrisburg Senators. So they built a locker room in the stadium. So it's the girls love it. It's just a great venue to play right on the Susquehanna River. So.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. To have those ties is great. Well, back to recruiting, where do you like to go to look at players? What are some of the places that are on your must see list? Is high school a big component of what you're looking at, or not so much? How does that work for you guys?
Yeah, well, just I'll address the high school is a big a component for us. So try to see girls with their club team and with their high school team if possible. I think with recruiting prospective female student athletes, it's they want that relationship with the the coach and like I tell parents like not that I didn't worry about my sons when they went to college, but when my daughter did, it's different with girls. So we try to see them with their club team, try to touch base with high school. I've even gone to basketball games, to kind of continue that rapport with recruits. But we're trying to get to uh, college showcases that have been successful for us in the past. And I register, and then a lot of girls will reach out, invite you to see them play. Or also, we try to get there, and uh, if you're, I've had this happen, you're recruiting a particular player, and then a player on the other team or the same team kind of catches your eye. Try to start the process with them as well.
Okay. Well, in terms of USCAA, because I mean I've spoken to a few other schools in this group. We talk about this with the NJCAA as well, that they're not part of the NCAA. So the NCAA's got Division 1, Division 2, Division 3. NJCA has Division One, Division Two, Division Three. For girls soccer, USCA has Division One, Division Two.
Correct.
What does that mean? Which one are you in? How does that all work for you guys?
Yeah, we're in Division Two and USCAA, and I get asked too, how does that equate to NCAA? And I said we're probably a low D3. We do play some D3 teams in our non-conference schedule. So, um, to me, try to get better. I think you get better by playing, tougher competition in the non-conference. Try to get us ready for our conference play.
Okay. Well, what about ID camps? Do you guys do ID camps? Do your staff work
Yeah,
ID camps? Are they part of your process?
yeah, we both actually. Uh, we Our big one is coming up here in March 21st. And we usually draw around 20, 25 girls to that. I've also run like a second one, and I've tried a couple different ways. Ran like one in October. Last year we ran one like right before the high school season, but the numbers were, smaller. But our big one is in the spring. But I've been fortunate to coach at a couple ID camps too. One in Northern Maryland last January. And there's a lot of college coaches there. I was able to run the session, and I think you get a kind of up close look there, with the players. I There's a former college coach in our area runs a high school girls ID camp in the summer, and he brings a different college coach in each night. And Mark's asked me to coach, past few years to be able to coach there. And we actually started a recruiting process with a couple of our players there, and just were able to continue that. So, kind of get a chance to see them and coach them. And, to me, being coachable is really one of those intangibles that we're looking for in future student athletes.
Great. Well, whether it's at ID camp, high school game, club tournament, whatever the case may be, kind of what makes up that hierarchy of things you're looking for in a player, both on and off the field?
Well, I think talent. I mean, the soccer skill. I mean, I think everybody's looking for talented players, looking for players that are athletic, good soccer skills, um, and then the intangibles. Coachable. I like to get there and watch the warm up. I was there one time where a player, she's off juggling when the coach is talking to the team. It's kind of like, you never know who's watching, and it's kind of like, okay, is she like not listening, not being coachable? I've also uh, talked to coaches for a recommendation. And we're looking for another one of the intangibles is leadership. We talk a lot about leaders on campus and off, on and off the field, and being a leader on campus. So, and we talk a lot about a team of captains. So not just necessarily having a C on your arm to be a leader. And we look at, looking to develop servant leaders as well.
Okay, awesome.
So a lot of the players like on our team, I think just about every player on our team was either a team captain on our high school team or on our club team.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean, that's not a prerequisite or anything. It just kind of gives you some indication of, and then what are they doing, extracurricular wise, how they doing academically. Um, that's a big piece for us. I mean, they're there to get the degree. So I'd always talk about fit. And the first fit to me is academic. Do we even have the major? And then what size of school are they looking for? And of course, from a parent standpoint, financially, and then obviously athletically, it's really the kind of the fits. We're going to be a good fit for them, and they're going to be a good fit for us.
okay, great. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the school itself. I mean, you told us some great stuff about the facilities, but talk to me about a little bit more about the school. What do you find that's great about it? Maybe some things we wouldn't even know by going through the website.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things that I have a handout that it's 10 things you didn't know about Central Penn. And I kind of, as a preliminary, I get, basically staple a business card to that handout. And yeah, to me, again, it's size school, like this, the class sizes, faculty student ratio. Right now, our big majors, our focus is really business. It started as a business school. So business administration is one of our big programs. And then health science. I find that a lot of our recruits are wanting to get into medical career. So we have a lot of physical therapist assistants, occupational therapist assistant majors, health science, which is kind of our uh, pre-med program, but we have surgical tech, we have dental programs. So I think we don't have nursing. I did, get a lot of requests for that. And again, to me, that's a calling. Um, and I just say, you kind of got to follow your heart there if you want to be a nurse. Unfortunately, we don't have that program, but a lot of the other health sciences. And one of the nice things about our semester, that kind of talked a little bit about that, is we have 4 terms a year, so we're not like a traditional college semester. So it's 11 weeks on, 2 off. And so you can do a 4-year degree in 3 years, and you can do an associate degree in 18 months. So from a student, standpoint, it's awesome. From a coaching side of it, some of our players are literally one and done because they play a season, say they're a physical therapist assistant, play one season, and then the next season they're actually doing clinicals, so 40 hours a week. So makes it tough. We did have a player able to work it out that she was doing clinicals and played. This year I've got another player that's going to be doing clinicals and she wants to play. So we're trying to figure that out for her and for us. So um, and then we talk a lot about family atmosphere, and I really get that feeling. That's from time I started there. I'm starting my 4th year there, Matt, and I've just felt like I'll just give an example. Our college president, she's really down to earth. Opportunity to talk to her directly, talks to students. She'll talk to recruits. If I have a recruit doing a tour and we run into the college president, she takes time, talk to recruits, and just trying to create that family atmosphere. One of the big things is too is living on campus. We have a housing scholarship, and it's huge. It's and all my players that uh, live on campus, it's a $23,000 housing scholarship, and and then we kind of do things like some girls want to. Like all sock, there's like we have suites. It's a little different than way back when I went to college as far as dorms. They have suites. There's they have their own room and a common room. And so sometime it's all soccer players living. 7 players living in the suite. Sometime like depending on their major, like a physical therapist, assistant. Um, they're in a cohort, so a lot of times they want to live with other students that are in their cohort, and I don't really have a problem how they want to do that. um, but I think some girls want to do it as far as soccer because they're on the same schedule.
No, that makes sense.
But yeah, it's very welcoming, and I think one of the things too, it just happened recently that we and I just sent this out to our recruits, but we were voted by research.com as we were ranked the seventh most popular college in Pennsylvania for 2026. So pretty exciting to earn that with the things that we do. It's a lot of um, the types of classes we offer, types of training, the types of faculty we have, and staff that work there. And um, but also another question I get too is like safety, because especially sometime out of state parents will say, "Hey, I looked at the crime statistics for the city of Harrisburg. Like we're not in the city. We have excellent campus police, and we're in township outside the city, even though we play our matches in the city on City Island. But Yeah, I think again we go going back to recruiting female athletes. It's safety is a big concern. Parents, we've had a couple of dads want to, they want to stop and talk to the campus police and kind of get a good handle on safety.
Hey, you got to do it. My daughter's a senior in high school right now, getting ready to go
Mhm.
off to school, so I
Yeah.
understand completely. Well, um, let's rewind back to the fall, kind of middle of the season. Walk me through what's a typical week look like for the players in terms of wins, practice, games, classes, meals, all that stuff.
Okay. Yeah, we've been trying to do a day in the life. We've been working. We just released a couple of we wanted to get a presence out there on YouTube, so we did a couple of recruiting videos that are out there on YouTube. But we're trying to do it like a day in the life type of video, so we've been working on that. But typically during the season, we train. We don't have a facility on campus. We train at a local park. We work with local soccer club, and we have a field dedicated to us and a field dedicated to the men's team. So typically we're training after classes, and it's typically like a 4 to 6 or 4 to 5:30 time frame. Now there are times though um, if there's a men's game and it's not a doubleheader with us, we rent the field there on City Island for the whole day. So we have a common hour where nobody has classes, say from like 11 to 1. So we can train on City Island. So it kind of gives us a little bit of time on our home. It kind of give us that home field advantage. Um, but again, a lot of my players, again, it's kind of a situation where a lot of them have to work to pay for school. And again, the focus there is, being a student first athlete. So train usually about 3 to 4 days a week, and then obviously matches. And we're a lot of our most of our home games are on weekdays. A lot of our away matches are on the weekends. So it might be like a Tuesday, Saturday, and that kind of depending on then that dictates our practice days. Definitely want to have a practice if we have a match the next day. Um, so it's not as I came over from Penn State Harrisburg. I've been at the college level now 14 years, and it's way more intense, at that level uh, than at Central Penn. But again, to me, it's we work hard when we're out there. Try to go match pace. Um, but also, as far as their typical day, getting back to your question, like we have mandatory study hall. We try to do that as a team. Um, Sometime, we can't, but they've got to get those hours in during the week. And we have a place called the Learning Hub where, which I think is a little, pretty unique, is not only are tutors in there, and several of my players are tutors, um, professors, in addition to their office hours, they're in, you can, each week they post like when your professor is going to be in that Learning Hub. So you can go there, work directly with your professor on questions. And um, so,
Great. Awesome.
yeah.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit more about the team. Can you talk to me about any staff besides you that work with the program or in the athletic department that will help out with anything?
Yeah, I think we have a awesome athletic director. She very supportive of women's soccer. All of our women's programs. Our assistant AD, uh, excellent. He's also our men's basketball coach and very supportive. Get to talk coaching things with him a lot. So we also have success coaches in our athletic department that their players are assigned to a success coach when they're there. But my coaching staff, I started my first 2 years. I had two very experienced assistants. That one, she played D1. I've known her for a while. She was our goalkeeper coach, and she actually had a pro tryout in NWSL. And the other assistant at that time, I actually coached Katie like 20 years ago when she was in high school. She played D2. Both very experienced, try to help me get the program off the ground. But again, they both have pretty intense full-time jobs. So, after we kind of got things up and running, because they hadn't played for like 5 years till I got here. When I first got here, they didn't even have a team. So we kind of built it from the ground up, and we're still, struggling with that rebuilding process. But I brought on two Central Penn alums. Kayla played there uh, several years ago, and all-conference player. Academic All-American. And then our goalkeeper coach, Allie, she was a goalkeeper, led us to my first year there at Central Penn. We actually made it to the Eastern States Athletic Conference Championship in the first year. And a lot of that was Allie keeping us in games. And she's played at a high level, works with our keepers. So they're both younger coaches, trying to mentor them. And so yeah, I get a lot of support. I think they're closer in age, to help with recruiting and deal with some of the you know female issues there. Then because I know there's times like my daughter, she's going to her mom, she's not coming to her dad with some stuff. So Kayla and Allie really do a nice job working with our players.
Awesome. Well, what about you? Talk to us about your coaching style and the style of play you look to play there.
Yeah. My philosophy is, I think I'm coming, as I might have mentioned, I'm coming from, retired from the state police here and coming from a law enforcement background. So trying to teach life lessons as well as, my undergraduate degrees in education. So, I like the teaching part of soccer, but also trying to incorporate, those life lessons. And we really focus, team first mentality. Um, Again, I try to do typical practice, warm up, small sided, try to get into some of the tactical scenarios that we may face in a match. But I think at any level, I had the first head coach I worked for when I first got to the college level was a former pro player, and he said it's got to be enjoyable at any level. So I think I try to tell girls it's a lot of hard work to play at the college level, but it's also got to be enjoyable. Uh, and I think if they're enjoying it, they learn more. As a think as far as teaching that learning curve, if you're enjoying it, and I think you learn a lot more.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Coach, really appreciate your time and everything you're telling us here about Central Penn. I got to leave you with one last question, and that is, if you had
Okay.
one piece of advice for anybody going through this college recruiting process right now, what would that be?
Uh, yeah, I think following up with coaches is really important. I think, what one of the things that, our process is we have a program called Front Rush, like a
Hmm?
lot of colleges do, universities. Um, it tracks the entire recruiting process. So every email, every text, texting from that program. Um, and, even though they may have a profile out there on one of the sites, I asked them to fill out our recruit questionnaire, gets them in our system, which is really important that way to send them invitations, uh, things that we're doing. One of the things I wanted to mention before we go is like the like official visits. You can make as many day visits as you want, but that official visit, we try to tie those to our homecoming game where they come to the match. It's a recruit night that's, VIP treatment. They're in the locker room with the team. They can be, on the field during the warm up, can't be, on the bench or anything during the match, but then come over like post game concessions and, then they'll stay overnight. And then the next day we have a fall festival, which is huge. It's just, campus is super busy and so I try to encourage girls to an official visit. Um, to do it then, even though they can do it in second semester of their junior year or anytime in their senior year. But kind of encourage that where they tie it to a game and see the campus at the same time. I also, when I do ID clinics, I do it in conjunction with, usually do it in conjunction with an admissions open house. So they get the whole financial aid, admissions, the whole process, as well as we get to see them, playing soccer. Uh, but again, I think that that's important is the follow up. I'd just say, attending ID clinics, kind of get a feel for, the speed of play. I think that's one of the big differences between, say, high school. Some club play is the speed of play at the college level. Uh, but that would be, I just think that the girls we've been successful with recruiting is they stay involved in the process. And then again, if if you go in another direction, tell players, recruits to, let me know. I'm not going to be upset or anything like that. We just had one of our 2026s that we were recruiting several years. We try to get it started in like sophomore, junior year, as I said, with girls, get them on our radar early and kind of start that process and continue to interact with them. But we just didn't have the major. It kind of came down to that. And but her mom, talking to her mom, she said like uh, her daughter was just like, she's like, it was almost like a breakup. She's like, she didn't really want to tell you, like she wasn't going to come there. And, like I said, just because we had such great rapport with her and her family. And again, you are recruiting the whole family. And, that's another thing we look for, being respectful to your parents and stuff like that. Is that those kind of intangibles really mean a lot to college coaches.
For sure. Well, thank you much, Coach. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh,
And
wow.
wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I mean, that was went by pretty quick. There was a lot more, I wanted to talk to you about, but
I know we gotta.
enjoyed it. Enjoyed talking soccer with you, and wish you continued success with podcast. And again, really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you today.
Thank you.